Okay, all right. So ayan, hello dears. So this is the last part of the video. Yeah, so we'll just last na lang gawan lang kayo ng mga topics yun. Um, so we'll start now with another commercial testing system known as your Vitek system. The Vitek system is an automated compact instrument that makes use of plastic reagent cards na ay microliter quantities of various concentrations of antimicrobial agents in 45 wells for susceptibility testing. So it's automated. Results can be obtained in 4 to 18 hours. So dali ra kayo siya. So here's your machine and this is your card. As you can see, kani mga holes, muna siya mga wells that contain different antimicrobial agents. Okay? And then naay murag i-inoculate ang organism there, and then from time to time i-measure daw ang optical density using usually spectro daw or fluorometry. Okay, and then interpret na ang result, okay, in terms of sa MIC and in terms of that MIC and then mga MIC. All right, so again, Vitek system. Actually, this is a common machine in your microbiology lab sa routine laboratories and hospitals. Actually, maka-experience mo, makakita mo ng Vitek, pero wala akong ka-experience of manipulating it or like kanang magbutang jud og mga kaning antibiotics, whatever. Ang medtech na na-assign dito na medyo complicated siya. And it's very like kanang example, if like example mo duty ko og gabi kanang mga 2 to 10 sa Soto or sa Galyares. Ay walay gabi sa Galyares. Pero 2 to 10 sa Soto sa micro, and then ikaw na lang usa dito or like gamay ra mo. And then naray kalit na murag tingog na murag ma-attack or something, so makuyawan ka. Abi ni mo unsa. Abi ni mo like giabat na ka. But it's actually just Vitek. So it's the wells kani sila iyahang gina-attack pag mahuman na. Murag na-adji ka ng murag sound yun na na-attack na murag metal or something inana inside of the machine. So that's Vitek. Yeah, you'll get to experience that in your internship pohon, hopefully. Okay, all right. Ayan, so that's the last for commercial testing system, Vitek system. We also have the walk away scan walk away scan walk away. Yeah, scan walk away. Now, sa scan walk away is still the same principle with Vitek, pero naani siya multi-prong device, okay? All right, na mo inoculate, manual inoculate sa imong wells. Okay, and still the same, i-examine ang turbidity kada time to time ang wells, and then i-use the machine either spectrophotometry or fluorometry. I think walk scan away dito. Walk scan away. Sorry, nalimot ko sa ngalan. Alright? Okay, walk scan away ba to? Basta another type of machine. Kaya I think, remember ko kanina, kay Marag, negosyo siya sa board sa una, not on our time. Pero di lang ko sure. Okay, but more of this kay nasa Bailey and Scott's. Okay, and I think napod sa Mayhon. Alright? Okay, ayan. So after the commercial testing systems, the last part is special screens and indicator tests. And usually we perform these tests for specific na mga resistance tests if we want to determine or if we want to look for resistance. And one of that is the D test. So don't be confused with the E test and napoy D test, all right? Or the double zone. Double zone ba na siya? Yes. Or basta D test, okay? It differentiates macrolide resistance among S aureus by an efflux mechanism. Okay. All right. So ang conditions dapat niya, you use clindamycin and erythromycin, okay? Medyo separate from each other, close to each other, and to observe for blunting, okay? So murag blunting. Ayan. So that's why murag siya letter D ang appearance. That's why it's known as the D test. So interpretation, if positive for blunting, it means it is indicates an inducible clindamycin resistance. Now, what happens, mga good, is erythromycin and clindamycin, most of your S aureus are susceptible daw to clindamycin, okay? But there are now instances na naa sila inducible resistance. When you say inducible, it's a type of resistance lang na gina-trigger, okay, or ginahatag by the presence of another drug. And in this case, it's erythromycin, okay? So erythromycin, okay, and clindamycin together, okay? Now, erythromycin, we have the gene ERM gene, okay? And this gene triggers resistance, okay? And what happens is because of this gene, kung asa sila mag-abot sa erythromycin and clindamycin, muna na blunting, meaning dito ra kutob tong clindamycin na resistance. Okay? Na zone of inhibition na prohibit na ang growth Okay, we'll look at the picture later. Basta ganun ay blunting or flattening of the zone of inhibition sa clindamycin that is positive for the D-test and that indicates inducible clindamycin resistance. Again, when you say inducible, it's a type of resistance na i-contribute or i-trigger by the presence of another drug. Okay? Alright. Ayan. Okay. And negative is of course the absence of blunting or flattening, which indicates resistance lang to erythromycin. And that is due to the MSRA gene. Okay? Ang ERM gene, muna siya responsible for the inducible clindamycin resistance. But for erythromycin resistance lang, it's the MSRA gene. Okay. So as you can see muna mga different results. Ayan. So as you can see, this is clindamycin. So, di ba, ang normal zone of inhibition dapat is circle, di ba? Sphere. But in this result, na ay blunting or na ay parang letter D. So as you can see, kanina ang erythromycin, no, walay resistance. Or walay zone of inhibition, ay resistance. So kanina point, ani na level, alright, ni work ng ERM gene provided by the erythromycin, okay? Munang, ang clindamycin, dili siya ka-complete sa iyang zone of inhibition. Okay? Munang, nakakay inducible clindamycin resistance because there is now resistance to clindamycin na gi-contribute sa ibuhang erythromycin. Okay? Alright, and that is considered positive for the D-test. So you report this as erythromycin and clindamycin resistant S aureus. Because again, bahalag na ay zone of inhibition, the presence of this D zone or D blunting or flattening, it indicates na naay possibility ang S aureus mo resistant to clindamycin in the presence of another drug. So we report it as still as resistant. Whereas kani, as you can see, ayan, so perfect yun siya na pagka-circle na zone of inhibition. So meaning walay ERM gene, okay? Walay ERM gene na na-produce. You report this as erythromycin resistant only. Okay, so dili siya resistant to clindamycin. And that's negative for the D-test, okay? Because again, walay flattening or walay blunting of the zone of inhibition for clindamycin. Okay? Alright. Ayan. So we report that as erythromycin resistant S aureus. This due lang to the MSRA gene. Okay? Alright. So muna siya ang D-test. Okay. Alright. Ayan. And this is a table na akong nakuha from Bailey and Scott's. Ako rin siyang giapilog, nag-review ko, ako rin siyang istoryan ato nag-review ko, pero wala man siya nagawa sa boards. Pero ako nang giapil para as early as now, ma-aware lang mo. So these are categorizations of your different antibacterial agents. Kung bacteriostatic ba siya, when you say bacteriostatic, it just inhibits the growth. Okay, dili dyan niya pati yun. Ang bactericidal ang makapatay. Alright? So kinsa to mga bacteriostatic, kinsa to mga bactericidal. Okay. And the last also is from Bailey and Scott's. Ako na siyang gi-appeal because nigawas sa boards daw sa una. So ang question is, this organism is not testing commonly required for this organism sa AST. So muna siya ang mga organisms. So how do we note this? It's because naiuban kani silang mga rarely required because most of the drugs na ginagamit for them are still working well, okay? Or wala sila yung known na resistance pa kaayo. Okay? So, kato mga known drugs na mo work nila, it's still working well. So, munang dili ra kailangan jud or rarely required ra ang mag-test og AST nila. Whereas kani mga common required staph, strep, enterobacteriaceae, pseudomonas, these are mga organisms na unpredictable kay ang AST or ilang mga results because again, some of them are prone to developing resistances. So, kailangan siya na, if ma-encounter siya sa lab, ato yung i-test dayon. Okay? Alright, and occasionally required, testing required if an antimicrobial to which the organisms na adhere are frequently resistant is still considered for use. Okay. Alright. So, kanisa na mga organisms, we test them because again, naay ubang mga drugs na considered resistant na pero ginagamit ra gyapon. So we test them. Occasionally required ra pod. Okay? All right. So mga in cases lang na example Neisseria gonorrhoeae, di ba? Penicillin ato ang tambal for that. But there are cases na naanay mga resistant to penicillin. So in ana ato siyang i-test for AST. Okay? Pero kanina ako na siyang gi-appeal again for additional knowledge lang, familiarization because again nigawas ni sa board sa una, not on our time. Okay? So, ang question was, testing commonly required ba to? Or I think rarely. Testing rarely required sa AST. And ang answer ato I think is Listeria monocytogenes. Okay. Alright, ayan. So, basically, that's it for our AST. It was quite a lengthy discussion. Very lengthy yun. Ako personally, I think, now at the end, feel ako medyo insufficient pa ako na say, na storya yun, because personally good, and honestly, I think, dili pag ko well-versed ani na topic. Okay, so, I'll look into I think, mag-additional lang ko mga notes from Ma'am Teddy po na lecture on this sa ihang lab. Okay, kaya ihang maning assign na topic. Pero ako lang apilan o pre-recorded. Pero ako na pong i-supplement tong ka Ma'am Teddy. Kay, of course, Ma'am Teddy, yes naman. Well-versed, maayo na siya ito. Maayo siya mo discuss ani. So, I'll include that also. I'll look into her presentation. And of course, the importance lang of AST, guys, is we want to determine, after all, identifying our bacteria, determining its characteristics, we now look into the possible, of course, tambal treatment to our patients. Because we don't limit only to pathogen identification. We also test these antibiotics, known antibiotics, para makatabang taog help sa doctor to decide on what treatment to be used. Okay? And especially nowadays na it's really important because as you can see sa atong background, it's kanina picture ko mo na kayo sa internet, the development of antibacterial resistance, which again is explained na by Ma'am Teddy, because of indiscriminate use of antibiotics, and it's really scary because those normal unta na mga kagaw na mapatay ra og mga antibiotics sa una, dili na mapatay karon, kailangan og mas intense. So, and it's not easy also to find compounds that could kill bacteria, all right, or compounds that can make new antibiotics. So it's really a challenge, and it's up to us. It's one of our main goals or our main roles as medtechs to spread awareness about antibacterial resistance and the proper use of antibiotics also, and the principles behind this. Why is it important? Nganong naay antibacterial resistance? Nganong naata? Nganong mag-apil-apil ta? What is our role in ana? So I do hope na aside from learning the different lab methods, you also get to appreciate and you also get to have a sense of urgency or awareness or need, okay, to really inform about antibacterial resistance and the importance of preventing this issue to really to worsen, okay, para ma-prevent siya. All right? Okay, so that's it for AST. So again, guys, gamay lang kaya itong pre-recorded lectures na kulang na lang, gamay lang kayo, and I think mga ma-count na lang siya. All right? And yeah, happy na maman ang SEM. And quite emotional agad ko, Char, ginagmay. Happy na maman ang SEM kaya this is really one of the memorable SEMs yun in my short teaching career. So, yeah, I do hope na the remaining lectures na to, you still get to appreciate our subject more and you get to understand and to learn more. Alright? So, muna dyan akong ultimate goal. Alright? So, again, thank you, dears, for watching and for listening. I'll see you now on our next pre-recorded lecture na pod. Okay? So, thank you and have a great day, guys, and keep safe.